The island's apex predator, the Sri Lankan leopard. Secretive and solitary, these magnificent big cats are also one of the most conflict-prone species in our country. Outrage poured on social media on Tuesday as yet another leopard was found caught in a snare in Nellore, Galle. Within just 4 days, 2 of Sri Lanka's precious endemic cats, including a rare melanistic black leopard, were killed. The Sri Lankan leopard is an endangered subspecies native to our island, but has been making headlines recently for all the wrong reasons. In December last year, an adult male leopard was killed and mutilated at the Udawalawa National Park. Its teeth and claws, the expensive price sought by the killers. In 2018, 1 adult and 2 juvenile leopards were found dead at the Nilagala Forest Reserve. And before that, a leopard that ventured into a village was beaten to death by an angry mob. Their numbers are dwindling. With no advances in accurately tracking this population, their future uncertain. Activists have long called for wildlife conservation efforts in Sri Lanka to be strengthened by the state. However, conservation efforts within the island have been lagging far behind the rest of the world. With the death of the rare black leopard, the Department of Wildlife was heavily criticized by the public. Voicing their concerns were also activists who have long been calling for justice for Sri Lanka's animals and wildlife. Conservationist Dr. Rukshan Jayawardena stresses on the need to eliminate the widespread use of wire snares in Sri Lanka.
This illegal trapping method takes quite a big cost of the wildlife of the country, and what wire snares kill is totally indiscriminate. And recently, several leopards have got caught in wire snares, and over the past 10 years we have had increasing reports of leopards getting caught in wire snares, especially in the hill country and where there are many tea estates. And these animals have suffered excruciating, agonizing, painful deaths.
The Department of Wildlife Conservation, meanwhile, has come under fire as attempts to rescue the injured predators failed. According to Wildlife Officer Prabhasha Karunatilaka in Nallathanni, 6 leopards were caught in snares within the first 5 months of 2020. However, only 3 of them survived and were released into the wild. Dr. Jayawardena notes that the resources to facilitate rescue efforts are critical but lacking in the Central Highlands.
The Wildlife Department is expected to respond to such situations, but since they are located in Randanigala Rantambe and Udawalawe at the Elephant Transit Home, their response time is slow. It takes many hours for them to get to these areas. Most recently, things have come into sharp focus because a black leopard, the first black leopard to be captured alive in any manner in Sri Lanka, died 2 days later at the Elephant Transit Home's Animal Hospital due to various injuries, complications from this snaring. One of the reasons that made the survival of this leopard difficult was that once the leopard was caught in a snare, it took the Wildlife Department a fair amount of time, far longer than it should have, to get to the site and then tranquilize or immobilize the leopard and get it off the snare.
Meanwhile, activists are calling for the legislation of animal welfare to address animal cruelty in the country.
And according to the Flora and Fauna Protection Ordinance, keeping snare traps is illegal. But unfortunately, we don't see proper culprits are apprehended or being punished, or there is a mechanism to stop people keeping snare traps.
So incidences, I think, has to be addressed urgently in Sri Lanka, as it's affecting so much of our wildlife. There's so many reasons why, and it's also a time to really focus on bringing change to the animals of Sri Lanka as well, to pass the Animal Welfare Bill, which has been pending for many, many years and gets overlooked all the time.
Animal rights activist Ottara Gunawardena says that this is a moment for citizens and Sri Lanka's leaders to initiate change.